4, 3, 2, 1. And guys, I believe I am live. Hey guys, welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. I've got a couple of guests with me today, and these guys, right, they make games for my favorite console of all time. Now, I always said it was a trade-off between the Super Nintendo and the PC Engine, and someone said to me, what system has more games that you like? And it happened to be the PC Engine. So the PC Engine is my favorite console of all time. These guys make PC Engine games, so naturally I am going to like them. So today I have Suramaru and Tater Pants with me. Yes, their name is even more weirder than mine. So guys, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. I'm going to play your game while you give us tell us about your studio, your Kickstarter, your previous games, your ambitions, and I'm going to use this time to play some of your excellent game.
Sure. Well, I'm Suramaru, and I created a little something called FX Unit Yuki with the help of Tater here. And now we're in the middle of a game called Nyanja, which is the game that you're playing right now. And we recently did a Kickstarter for it, which was funded successfully about 2.5 weeks ago. And at this point, we're just maybe about 85% into the game's development. So hopefully this will come out this year is a projected release date for this game, as we're hoping to have it out before the end of the year, if everything goes well. SaruPro started back in 2016 when I registered the LLC, and we started working on FX Unit Yuki. And then we released FX Unit Yuki in 2018. And currently we're working on this game, and we're also working on another game, which we may or may not talk about, depending if Tater wants to talk a little bit about that project as well. But yeah, so that's who we are. We are a small team. Nyanja's team consists of 3 people. It consists of me, Tater, and Sergio, who is the composer. And FX Unit Yuki consisted of 4 people, which was me, Tater Pants, a tile artist named Justin Shear, and a composer by the name of Garbled Waves.
And your game, as well as coming out for the PC Engine, it's also going to come out for modern consoles, right? After the PC Engine release, after the Kickstarter. You've got some stretch goals, or am I mistaking that with a different Kickstarter?
So this Kickstarter is only for the PC Engine version and the Steam version of the game.
Ah, okay.
What I want to do, though, is I do want to do, later on, I'd like to do a separate crowdfund campaign to bring it to other consoles, like the Mega Drive and the Sega Dreamcast.
That's what I was remembering, actually. That's one of your stretch goals, isn't it? To bring it to different consoles. So, for example, now, is this only going to be out for the PC Engine CD, or are we going to get this for the normal PC Engine as well?
Well, this is only coming out. It's a PC Engine Super CD, so it's not coming out for HuCard.
Ah, okay.
It's PC Engine CD only, and then Steam. But hopefully, we can bring it to other platforms.
Excellent. Now,
hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can't have enough of these games everywhere. I love single screen platformers, and I love PC Engine, and that's what attracted me to it. You know, you ticked 2 boxes straight away. You know, growing up in the arcade, I played like Snow Brothers, one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm always nagging like buddy FPGA core developers of mine, saying, look, when are we going to get Snow Brothers? And it might happen one day, but for now it's not happening. Obviously, Bobble was one of the earliest games I have arcade memories of, going into that dark arcade, hearing that iconic soundtrack, you know. I rocked the ringtone of Bubble for like 2 years. It used to go off and people used to look at me weird, and you know what, I didn't care. And talking about soundtracks, the soundtrack is jamming for this, man. I mean, I'm sure the guys at home can hear it. I've got it up to a decent-ish level, you know, so we've got nice soundtrack as well. But your composers hit the ball out of the park with this, man. Soundtrack's amazing.
Oh yeah, the guy loves Japanese themed type stuff. So he was tickled to be able to do a soundtrack for a game that incorporated 2 of his favorite things, which is cats. He loves cats and ninjas. And then he's a big fan of Japan and like Japanese sound. So he was really the right guy for this job. And I've known Sergio for a long time as well in the convention circuit. Every time we did conventions, we'd always run into each other. And one day he was like, yeah, man, let's work on something together. And I started this, and I'm like, hey, I think I got a project that you're going to be perfect for. So he made the music for this.
Superb. And so, what was your kind of background before? What made you think one day, you know what, I'm gonna get up and sorry, this goes SaruMaru and Tater pants for both of you guys. So you know, come in, say your part. But what made you think one day, you know what, I think I'm gonna make a PC Engine game? And like, what was the inspiration behind it? What makes people go, I'm gonna bring something out for something that's like 30 years old or 30 plus years old?
I'll actually let Tater Pants talk about this one first because he actually released a PC Engine game before we released our FX Unit Yuki. So I'll let him share his story about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I put out an RPG back at the beginning of the 2010s in 2012, I believe it was initially, and we'd been working on it for about 7 years. You know, kind of on and off. You know, as everyone has their own, you know, their own lives, their own, you know, stuff that they got to do. So it took a while to produce it, but I've always been a big TurboGrafx fan. So doing anything PC Engine related was just a no-brainer. In fact, I was bugging companies like Working Designs way back in the day, back when they were still porting games for it. To find out what it would take to actually bring a game to this system. So I'm sure I annoyed them at some point. But anyways, so yeah, it had long been my desire to make games for this console, but I didn't know how to get into it, and until indie people started making compilers for it and whatnot, and then it was like, yeah, I can definitely work with this. So, and I was always told not to make an RPG. They always said, no, don't make an RPG. It's too much work. There's not enough room on a ROM for all the text. I was like, well, other people did it, so why can't I? So I figured out ways around that little detail, and I made an RPG for the CD system. Because I'm not a composer. I'm a sound engineer, but I'm not a composer. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to do this as a CD because I want top quality music, and so that's how the Mysterious Song remake was made. And ever since then, I've been wanting to do more stuff. I've started other projects, a lot of other projects. Not everything gets made, but sometimes stuff gets made and gets completed and put out, and well, FX Unit Yuki happened, so
right.
So I got at least one thing out, right?
So this RPG got released, right? And what's it called? What did you call it?
Yeah, it's called Mysterious Song.
Okay.
It was actually released twice. There was the original release, and then we had a second edition release, which due to popular demand, because we ran out of copies of the original, so I had to do a second pressing of it.
Okay.
And the second version has like some bug fixes and whatnot.
Nice.
And
is that only out for PC Engine CD, or can people experience it like on other platforms as well?
I had licensed it to Pico Interactive, and he was attempting to bring it to other platforms. The original game is actually for MS-DOS.
Right, okay.
And that came out way back in 2000.
So is it a port of another game, or is it an original game that you made?
It was a port of a game that was made by a studio that I used to work with.
Okay, got you. And you wanted to bring that over to the PC Engine CD, and why not?
Yeah, I mean, originally it was just going to be like a kind of like just like a freebie release, but people kept telling me, you got to put this on CD and sell it, proper packaging and all that. I was like, okay, I was totally cool with doing it as a freebie game, but
it's nice to get rewarded for your work. You put in hours. We're talking like hundreds of hours sometimes, so it's definitely nice to see some appreciation for the work. And why not put it on CD? Like, there's a lot of people in their 40s and 50s, they have disposable income, and they want that nostalgic feeling back. They want to feel like the kid again that's got a new game. And this is what I feel bringing games out for retro consoles delivers. Once you get a game packaged up for the PC Engine, for the Mega Drive, for the Super Nintendo, for the freaking Game Boy, and all of a sudden you feel like that kid again. Your mouth goes dry from the excitement, the anticipation, and you feel like, yes, I'm going to insert it in there rather than, hey, you know what, here's a digital damn download.
Yeah, yeah. There's a big difference between actually physically owning a game and just downloading one. That was one of the things that one of the reviewers of Mysterious Song was saying, is that this felt like picking up a new game off the shelf, because between the aesthetic and just having a new PC Engine game in the modern day, it was a really big deal for him. So that was really cool.
Yeah, no, that's
and
great.
It's stuff like that that actually makes all this worthwhile, is to see people actually enjoying what you do. That's the big thing for me. It's like people like what we're doing here. That means everything to me.
Absolutely. And what drives me crazy? It's like, so I tell my kids, birthday, special occasion, whatever. And I'm like, hey, what can I get you? It's either, Dad, can I have mine coins? Can I have V-Bucks? I think those are the two main things. And I'm like, kids, let me buy you something tangible. And they're like, Dad, what's tangible? Yeah. And then, like when we were kids, right? Do you remember like, on the weekend, there weren't any mobile phones, and you'd say to your friend, all right, meet me at 10 o'clock outside McDonald's. If your friend was late more than 10 minutes, you all went. That was a general rule. And you went comic book hunting. You looked at video games. You look at import stores. Now, when I say to my kids, hey kids, do you want a toy? Do you know what they do? One comes around one side of the sofa, the other goes around the other, and they look over their shoulder and they expect me to bring up Amazon or sometimes AliExpress, depending on the nature of the toy, and order them a toy. And that feeling is completely gone. And this is what you guys are bringing back, and I feel like this is why your Kickstarter absolutely smashed the goal, right? You've done it way before time. How long was it set for, and how long did it take to actually fulfill your target?
So the Kickstarter was up for a month, but it got funded in 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay, that's good. A lot of interest. Now, I know David. So I actually found this out from. So David Shadoff actually retweeted your Kickstarter, and I had a look at it, and I was like, "Wow, we've got."
Did he?
Yeah. I definitely found out. I definitely found out. Yeah, I found out from him, and yeah, he's such an awesome guy, man. So nice, so wholesome.
Oh my gosh, yes,
and just
his content too is.
Mate, guy is amazing. We've got him coming on the channel for an interview on August the 30th as well. So make sure you're in there and you're asking questions. Hopefully something technical. Yeah. So he's we've got. The next two we've got Zophar from, if you remember the internet emulation website from ages ago, Zophar's the main. He's coming around on the 11th, which is a Monday, because he works on Saturdays. So he said, look, I can do Sunday or Monday. So we agreed on a Monday. And then right at the end of the month, we've got David Shadoff. So yeah, he retweeted it. And I'm surprised you missed the tweets. He was singing praise of this, saying, look, it's really, really good. It's nice to see this. And I was like, oh, I need to click on this and have a look. And yeah, so that's how I initially found out about this.
I didn't even see that, actually. I'm gonna go and look. He's a big PCFX guy. I need to go find them tweets. But that's amazing.
He's big.
Yeah, I will be for sure.
And also, I've got to say, your demo's not too shabby. I mean, I've done like the first boss, right? Ultimately, I could actually say I've got enough of the game here, because like I generally play games for videos now, and it's very rare that I complete a game. I can't remember the last game I completed now. I've become like this guy that just does stuff for videos and content and doesn't actually play games all the way through. But your demo is not shabby at all. You've added a lot of content in there. So how far can I actually get to if I've got the skill to get to it? Is it like the second world boss, or is it even more than that we've got here?
I think we have, what do we have here, Tater? Three worlds, yeah?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think this is the 3-world demo, because originally we had a 2-world demo, and then I guess we decided to do 3.
That's the public demo. The public demo is a 2-world demo, and then we had one that we sent out to influencers, which is this one, I believe.
Oh, I hate that word, influencers. Yeah. I hate that word.
Yeah, same.
It's like my kids
to content creators.
I hate that as well, but I'll take that over influencers, So being big PC Engine fans, tell me, Tater Pants, tell me
Yes.
what your favorite game is, or one of them. Don't tell me it's going to be Chan and Chan, JJ Jeffers, I think it was called on TurboGrafx, because you've got Tater Pants, and in that one, they kind of take their pants down and fart. So name me any game, and we'll try and run that. We'll come back to this as well.
Actually, my favorite game on the PC Engine TurboGrafx actually might surprise people. It's actually Newtopia.
Newtopia, right?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
So where is it? Have I? Okay, I'm in the right folder. Aha, here we go. Okay.
But I guess it's
Got it,
probably
got it.
because I've always been also a bit of a Legend of Zelda fan, and this was the best way to get
Is there a translation out, or is there a translation out of this?
Yes.
It's in English. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me go to TurboGrafx then, and hopefully it's there. Oh, here we go. Newtopia. Cool. See, for me, so now I don't know if you've ever heard my story of the PC Engine. So what happened was, I got the PC Engine. A friend of mine was telling me about it. I looked at it in a computer magazine, and I was blown away because I liked a lot of arcade games, and this had some of my favorite ones on there. Stuff like Ninja Spirit, Legend of Hero, Tonma. A lot of the IRM games were on here. Stuff like Ninja Warriors from Taito was on here as well. And so I bought the Japanese version because we never had this. It wasn't officially launched in the UK as far as I know. So I managed to pick up an import unit, and what happened was, I had no idea what the game was when I was buying it. Like, often I'd go and I'd buy games and I'd be like, what is this game? And I'd get home, and sometimes it'd be text heavy and I'd have to return it. And then I found some really, really good games from picking stuff out like kind of randomly. Oh, that's nice. It's got a nice attract mode. Yeah, so that's how I got mine, but I absolutely loved it, man. I'll tell you what, my biggest gripe with the PC Engine, I don't know if the TurboGrafx 16 had the same issue, but it bloody only had one port. It took me ages to find the multi-tap, man. No one had it in the UK, or at least, I couldn't find it from anywhere. And I found it after ages and ages, man. And then I got the multi-tap before I actually got a second controller. Then I had to go and get a second controller.
Yeah.
What was it?
The TurboGrafx 16 also has a single port. There is a reason for it, and the reason is timing. The multi-tap, of course, is a 5-port accessory, and that's more ports than any other console at the time had. In fact, I think it's more ports than any console has ever had. Come to think of it, I think there was one console that had 8. But 4 ports has always been the standard for like multi-taps. I think
Right.
the Super Nintendo and the Genesis both had multi-taps that allowed 4 players, but the NEC and Hudson, they went beyond that. They went 5, and timing of reading the controller port is the reason for that. To do it with starting from 2 ports and then going to 4 is a little bit more technical, but doing it from just 1 port to 5 ports is a lot less work on the programmers.
Okay.
And on the engineers as well. So yeah.
Yeah, no idea on that. I'm going to look at a bit of the chat. So who we got? We've got Admiral Taco in here just saying good evening, be nice. Galino, how you doing? Big Juffer, who doesn't love cats? Yeah, I definitely love cats. You know what? My wife does not let me have cats. And I've told my kids, cats are very, very smart. There's more cat owners than there are cats. So when we get a cat in the garden, I'm telling her, befriend the cat, bring it in the house, and we'll be like, well, we didn't buy the cat adopted us. Hopefully it'll work because I want the cat, but my wife says no, and ultimately she's the boss. We've also got Al Anonymous in chat saying hello. Hello, Al Anonymous. And had saying hello to Saru and to Tater Pants as well. Not sure if they know that Tater Pants are in chat. Anonymous has a really good channel, guys. Anyone watching out there, really, really good. What's Glenio saying? Saw Yuki in the thumbnail and was immediately interested. That's right. That is right. That's what you need to do. And what else we got? Okay, so our Anonymous is saying, Saru, I want to play through this as well. Glad to beta test. I would recommend White Hat 94 for testing as well. Okay, so some more tests out there. This looks really good, guys. This wow. Okay, so I never knew of this game, and if I had this game, I don't think I would have been able to play it because it would have been in Japanese, right, for my PC Engine. I don't think, was the PC Engine, was there a region lock on there, or did TurboGrafx games work on the PC Engine? Do you guys know?
It was region locked.
It was region
Yeah,
locked.
it
Okay,
was.
so
The Hue cards were. The CDs are region free, but the Hue cards are locked.
okay, see, I never had the CD. Like, I remember hearing about it and seeing it. And, do you know, like when I had the PC Engine, so remember when we were kids, we would swap games with one another. You know, you'd be like, oh, Super Nintendo, you got Contra. All right, I'll lend you that. You lend me Ghouls and Ghosts. I was the only person I knew with a PC Engine. There was a friend of a friend's that had a PC Engine, but we never got to meet and exchange games. So this was one console where every game like I had to buy. Oh wow, this looks really, really good. Really looks like Zelda. It looks like the dungeon. It actually looks like one of those little, literally the bouncing enemies from Zelda.
Yeah, it's
that's
very
why
much
I always call this the PC Engine Zelda.
I would have loved this. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to play it in Japanese. I would have definitely tried until I got to a part where it said you need to do this to pass it, and I never understood it. Did you ever experience this as well? Was it ever a time in your life where you bought Japanese games and they're not crazy something like Zelda? One that I'm specifically remembering now is The Legend of the Mystical Ninja. We got that on Japanese import on the Super Nintendo. We played it and we somehow started going through the Japanese parts in trial and error. One on this one was actually Sun 2, which not exactly text heavy, but it's only when I played the translation years later I found out what the power-ups did, especially one where you could like smash the walls. So good stuff there. Right, who picked Newtopias? Was it Tater? You picked it, didn't you? So Saru, do you want to pick what your greatest PC Engine game? I haven't got the whole CD set on here. I've only got a select few. But your Hue card. What's your favorite Hue card? And we'll kind of run that. And if you want, after, you guys can share your screen and show us some of your insight in PC Engine programming.
Gotcha. Okay, well, my favorite PC Engine game of all time, well, in this case, it would be a TurboGrafx CD game, is eSpoke 1 and 2.
Yep, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I'm pretty predictable. Everyone who knows me knows that is my fave. That's actually what got me into the whole TurboGrafx PC Engine ecosystem.
What game is that? Sorry, what game? Oh, the with the wires. It's the wire game, isn't it? YS. Cool.
Yep.
And that's a CD game, did you say? Let's see by. Oh, okay. Is that the only? Okay, so let's see if we have got it here. Is that actually CDs I've got? Oh, I've got it. Okay, 1 and 2, yeah? Okay, so this one here, USA Revision.
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay, cool. I didn't realize. Oh, okay, do you know what? I think a friend of mine kind of helped me out with some CHDs. So there you go. So this is an RPG as well. Now, so this is a long-going series because this is still going on, isn't it? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct. I think I played one recently on the Switch, and you start, like everything, I'll play the first 20 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, and I'll never go back to it. But I think it was one where you're on a ship at the beginning. Does that ring a bell? I'm having.
There's, I think, like 4 East games where you start off on a ship.
Oh wow!
Yeah, okay. That's pretty much the East thing. You start on a ship.
Yeah.
Oh really?
You start off on a ship. Yep, and then that ship will either crash or it'll get invaded or something like that. Even Falcom makes jokes about it, saying never get on a ship with Adol, the main character.
Oh wow, that's that. So yeah. This is something that used to happen. So at my previous job, which I left in October last year, I used to do like night shift. So what used to happen is sometimes I'd be on night shift and like I wouldn't get much sleep during the day. There'll be some roadworks taking place, something that'll wake me up, right? So I'd be sleeping for like 3-4 hours, and literally I'd go to night shift as a functioning crackhead. You know, I'd be all right if I had to deal with something, I dealt with it, adrenaline kicked in or whatever. But often I'd be sitting there, and then what would happen is I would play games, and I'd tell myself, stop trying to play games like on night shift, because what happens is, because I was tired when I was playing them and I was falling asleep, then when I play that game when I'm fresh during the day, it reminds me of being tired, like it's subconsciously embedded in me. I've done that with like The Witcher 3, so many games. But I remember that Wires game, I must have been tired when I played it, but I never went back to it. Okay, this looks beautiful, guys, man. Look at that. Like being a kid looking at those graphics, I would have been like, wow, this is good stuff.
Exactly. That was the thing. And I saw this would have been, I don't know, like 1992, and I was blown away. And the game came out actually in 1989. My mind would have melted if I played this in 1989, because I remember playing this this was my first CD game. When I got my TurboGrafx CD, this was the very first CD game I played.
Wow.
And the music itself, like once the orchestrated music started, I was like, whoa. Because at this point, I was only used to listening to chiptunes at that time.
Okay.
So to go from chiptunes to fully orchestrated music was it was mind-blowing at the time. The game itself is nothing crazy in the graphics department. It looks very much like an 8-bit game, but the music and the story is amazing.
It looks great. I've got my PVM on as well. Let me do some real time picture work in here. We'll get that in here. But yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. Now I know on the Super Nintendo there's stuff like MS1U stuff, right? That people have the CD quality soundtrack. Has anyone ever done anything like that for the PC Engine? You know, like get like a normal PC Engine game, give it like an alternative CD soundtrack. Is that something that can happen? Because it seems like a wasted opportunity, like where you can just grab yourself CD quality sound, put it on, I don't know, something like Bloody Wolf or Legendary Axe or whatever, you know, and just kind of run with that, man. Is that something that is possible, or is that something that has happened and I'm completely missing it?
I don't think that's something that's technically possible with hue cards, but
Okay.
people have done it with CDs where they would like take out the music and put in their own, or put in remixes and stuff. I know Dark City Productions made a run of games of like Lords of Thunder and Gate of Thunder with like louder music, or like arranged Cotton soundtrack with different remixes of Cotton.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That were pretty interesting, but nothing where I've seen where they've run CD quality music along with a hue card in tandem. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but I might be the wrong person to ask. I don't know if maybe
what
Tater has any insight on that.
What I'm talking about is a PC Engine, like say a PC Engine normal hue card game, but we get it working on the PC Engine CD with CD quality sound. So you're playing a hue card game, but on a PC Engine CD. So let's take Sun 2, for example. You're playing that game, but you're playing it using, say, on the PC Engine CD core, but now you can have CD quality sound. So essentially you can change the soundtrack.
So I don't think anyone is actually...
I know of anyone, no.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's ever done that, yeah.
Okay.
I think if anyone would have done it, it would be this guy named Chris Covell. He was, you know, he did quite a lot of crazy stuff like that. Like he ported, I think it was R-Type to the SuperGrafx because, you know, it was originally just a standard TurboGrafx PC Engine game, and it had a lot of graphical glitches because of the sprite pixel limits. He ported it to the SuperGrafx to get rid of a lot of those issues. So if anyone would know how to do that, it would probably be him. And I don't know if he's ever done anything like that. So,
do you know what, that would rock? Because one thing that I really enjoy, and it's weird because I enjoy it, but at the same time, I like it and I dislike it at the same time. I like it because sometimes it's such nice hearing this like orchestra music, CD quality sound on like the Super Nintendo MSU1 stuff, the Mega Drive stuff. But then all of a sudden, when I hear Super Mario World, for example, with a different soundtrack, it just throws me off because I'm so used to the original. So, but it's a nice option to have. And here you go. Look, it looks brilliant on a CRT. If you look at the screen I'm sharing with you, I did bring it up there, but we were talking, but it just looks superb, man. So darn nice, man. Yeah. So back in the day, and this is how nice your game looks on a CRT. Let's share that with the viewers. There you go. Look, Nyanja. And just for the record, guys, I bought this controller, and this is the PC Engine. This is a TurboGrafx controller. But when I bought it, I didn't know which one I was going to get, and I really wanted. I really wanted the PC Engine one, but unfortunately, I got the TurboGrafx 16 one. I have got a PC Engine normal controller with me because, but that I can use that via Snack if I need to. But I 8-bit though, and I wanted the PC Engine one. But unfortunately, I bought it from a second-hand store, and it just had it listed, all of them listed as one. So it was cheap. That was like £17. So I thought, you know what, I'll go for it, man. And just
not bad. Yeah, that one's the Core Graphics controller. It looks like.
Oh, is it a Core Graphics one? Yeah. So you know what? To me, if it's not like the Japanese one, then it's something else. That's the only way I kind of look at it. So okay, guys, do you want to share anything on your screen? Anything you want to share with the audience? Whether you want to show a work in progress, you know, whether you want to show how you kind of code stuff, is completely up to you. If you want to bring on your screen or you want to prep it, then we can share that with the audience. They can look at it at home if you like.
Gotcha. I don't know. Tater, did you have anything you wanted to share? Like your process or anything?
Well, I could show the massive directory full of files that make up this game.
You could do that.
Okay.
And,
Well,
and
if you need a
fair.
minute,
do you know what else we can do?
do you
We
need a
can.
minute to set that up?
No, I have it up already, but
Yeah, and what we can do, I'll tell you what, if you do want to set up, have a look at, so what we want to avoid anything not suitable for work. We're a family friendly channel and I want to follow like all those guidelines. So just make sure everything's clean on there. So, you know, even as much as I like a lady with her bits hanging out, can't show it on the channel, plus my wife will kill me. Do you want to also just get your Kickstarter page ready and some of your other projects? And what I'll do is I'm going to show you one of my favorite games, because it's not fair. You know, you've shown me you've shown it. I need to show mine now. And at the time I run that game, do you guys want to get your Kickstarter pages ready, all the directories, the files, and then I'll swap over to that once you're all ready. But in the meantime, let me run a game. Oh, there's so many, right? I'm gonna go. Do you know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with something very, very obvious. I'm gonna go with. Let me see if hopefully the Japanese version is there. No, okay, maybe something else in Japan, right? I know. I always knew it by the American name, and it's this game here, man. So have you guys played this game?
looks like Bloody Wolf.
Oh yeah, Bloody Wolf.
This was such a good game. And the crazy thing is, right, I used to work at one of my uncle's shops, and like around there, like when you went to a different area, one of the things you always did was you always went to an arcade, because if you went to a new area, you had new arcades, which essentially meant you had access to new games, provided you had money to pay for them. And I still remember this was an area called Camden Town. It was probably about 4 or 5 miles from my house, and there was an arcade in the basement there. And they had this game in the arcade there, and I played it there. And you know what? That's the only time I played it. And I always wanted to play it, right, again. And just randomly, when I bought a random PC Engine game, I got Bloody Wolf, and I was so happy, man. This is one of the games I remember completing this back in the day. Still holds up really, really well. It's very, very fair. The difficulty on this, how it scales and everything is just absolutely superb. And again, the soundtrack is brilliant. PC Engine only had 2 buttons, so like the select button is pause, and you need to press the run button to use your grenades. You could change that though in on the MiSTer and emulators. But yeah, have you guys played this, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love this game. Let's give this okay. Are you guys ready to share your screen? Because this ain't a track mode, and I don't want to sit here going, all right, you know what, I think I can still complete this. Should we share?
Okay. Yep. I've got our HIO page up if you want to go ahead and
no worries. What I'll do in the
show my
meantime,
screen.
let's just run that in here, because we'll get a little bit of a soundtrack in the background. So let's bring your screen up. So here we go, watch stream, and let's get that. Okay, perfect. So guys, you're gonna see all of our Discord screen, so it's gonna be a bit smaller, but I'm not gonna adjust it or anything. But here you go. So is that Tater sharing that? Yeah, Tater, go away. I'm sorry, not go away. Go with it. I mean, don't go away. Stay. Talk us about your itch.io page. Show us your Kickstarter. Tell people how they can support you. How they can get the game. Just tell us. Go crazy.
All right. Well, this is our itch.io page for SaruPro, which is our small group. This page here has a bunch of demos for the different things that we make. It's got trailers for FX Unit Yuki. You can also download a demo for FX Unit Yuki.
So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about FX Unit Yuki, because I haven't really looked much into that game. What's the style of game? Like, is it another platformer? Is it a shmup? Give us the rundown.
So FX Unit Yuki is a 2D action platform game, and it does have a couple of shoot-'em-up stages thrown into the mix. It's basically a game that parodies different PC Engine games of that time. And so the stage usually tries to revolve around a theme for the game that it's parodying.
Okay.
And so the story for FX Unit Yuki, actually, how we came about it is it started off as a webcomic, first and foremost. And Rover had reached out to me at that time because I had drawn some sprites for FX Unit Yuki. I can't spell the name of my game correctly, but here we go. So here's the website for FX Unit Yuki. So if you go to fxunityuki.com, there actually is a web comic that you can read that is totally free.
Okay.
And this started off as a web comic first. And so I had made these little sprites on Instagram to promote it. And Tater Pants had seen these and was like, do you happen to have any more of those little frames? 'Cause I had drawn like 3 or 4 different frames, and I was like, sure. And I can also make a bunch more. And so I ended up making like a small sprite sheet for the main character. And I sent him over to Tater Pants, and he made this very like crude, simple demo. And I was going to the Midwest Gaming Classic at the time, which is a convention that happens in the Midwest. This would have been like 2016, I think, or maybe even 2015. It's possible. I'm not sure. Maybe Tater can confirm, but it was either 2015 or 2016. And they have something called the Turbo Room, which is a room for enthusiasts of the TurboGrafx 16. And so we took this crude demo and we showed it off to people there, and everyone pretty much lost their minds over it. So I went back home and I reached out to Tater, and I'm like, I think we need to make a game. And so we started working on FX Unit Yuki back in 2016, and that's how it started with FX Unit Yuki. But now FX Unit Yuki is on many things. It's on the Sega Dreamcast. It's on the Nintendo Switch as well, the Mega Drive, which we couldn't keep in stock. That was a popular one. But yeah, you can go to sarupro.itch.io to play these games.
Wow, that's banging. And okay, without completely like turning it into spoilers, what games have they got? What games is there a parody of in FX Unit Yuki?
So it's got an Adventure Island parody, kind of a monster lair type of stage. It does a parody of Cotton, which we call Satin 50%. It does a parody of Dracula X, which we call Castle Vampire Z. It has a parody of Bonk, which we called Badonk, and changed the caveman to a cave girl that uses her butt instead of her head.
Quality.
We did a Lords of Thunder type of stage, and we called it Gods of Lightning, and it's basically based on Lords of Thunder. And then we did one called Cyber Troopers Zatman, which is basically a mix of Shubibin Man, or Shockman as it's known for the TurboGrafx 16, and kind of like a Mega Man X feel for the stage.
Wow, that sounds amazing, man. That sounds wow. I want to check this out later on. But yeah, certainly, yeah, looks really, really good. So, what we got on screen now? So now we've got the different Nyanjas, right? So the Kickstarter's ended, but you can still pre-order it, right? Is that what I'm seeing on my screen now?
Correct. Yep. So this is my website, which is just sarumaru.com, and I have pre-orders set up here. So if anyone missed the Kickstarter, you could still just pre-order it here, and when it comes out, you'll get it. And so basically, we did the game, the PC game, and all the different soundtracks. But you could also get copies of FX Unit Yuki as well.
Oh, nice.
For a PC Engine and Dreamcast.
Wow, no, that's solid. So what are your future plans? Obviously, if you wanna discuss them, I completely understand if you don't want to reveal anything yet. But is there anything that you can hint towards, as in after Nyanja's done, what do you guys want to do next? Because it certainly looks like there's no stopping you guys.
So we're already working on a new game that was originally a project that Tater Pants started as a shooter, but he's pretty much canned that project, and we're reworking it into more of an action stage, or an action game with a couple shooter stages. But originally he was going to make a shoot 'em up called Lucretia, Demon Princess, but we're reworking that and using one of the main characters from that game in an action setting instead of a shoot 'em up.
Ah, okay, interesting.
So that's the next thing we're working on.
What would that be? I guess that would be like a 2026 release, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, I mean, I guess it all depends on how quickly we get stuff with Nyanja done, but hopefully maybe mid 2026. I'm not sure. What do you think, Rover? You think maybe we can get it?
Yeah, I'd like to get it out by summer next year. We already have much of the content ready already because of the game that was originally designed to be made. And a lot of that is being reused for this new version of the project. So most of it just comes down to me see if I can keep up my health long enough to actually finish it. So that would be good.
No, that's good.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work done with it, so I think it's looking good.
No, that's awesome, and it's difficult balancing everything, isn't it? Most of us work full time. A lot of us have family lives, and in between that, we have to juggle absolutely everything as well. So, yes, it's difficult finding the time. Honestly, like sometimes with the stuff that I'm doing, I'm going to work and then I'm working flat out until I go to sleep, and then I wake up and I kind of repeat. And it's because it's my hobby. I like doing the stuff that I do outside of work, but you do end up spending a lot of time on this stuff.
Right.
Okay. What else is there? Is it? And oh, I like that shiny cover you got there. That's really nice. So, if someone buys that cover, will it shine like that? Because often the pig it is going to shine like that. Yeah, is that a guarantee?
It's going to sparkle.
All right, guys, you heard that? Yeah, you heard that. Don't do a chargeback if it doesn't. Yeah, support indie developers. Right? Do it.
Please.
What else was
85% sure it will sparkle?
Yeah, 85. And 60% of the time, we're right all of the time.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely superb. What else was I going to say? Right, Jude, did you want to show us your container of your files and kind of talk us through the development process, what you did, how it kind of came to be, and maybe some advice for people out there to get into development? What kind of prerequisites you need? What would it help if you're already experienced in, say, Python or Java? What is it that you need? Because let's encourage some people out there that might have some of the skills but just need the encouragement.
I can share my screen here real quick. Let's see. Entire screen. Yes, there we go. Okay. Can you see that?
Well, okay, let's swap over to the other stream. And oh wow, okay, I can see some people there looking like I don't even know. So, I like that though. That's cool. Did you draw that in Microsoft Paint? Just asking.
It was a quick 2-minute doodle.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's very good. It's very good.
Saru has this long-standing tradition of making dirt versions of characters. So
that's
so
quality.
this is going to be the image that we're going to use for the error screen. Because every Super CD game has an error screen, and you'll usually do something fun with it, like make some image, or in the case of Rondo, there's a little mini game that you can play if you see the error screen. So yeah, this is just what we have for that. And
yeah,
that's
there's
quality.
just a couple of things that I could show off, like here's the Nakomi scale that you see on the title screen. This is all pre-rendered. There's no real-time scaling.
Okay.
This is a lot of what we do for consoles, like the TurboGrafx and the Genesis. Since there's no hardware scaling, usually do that in advance. And I noticed that new game that just came out for the Mega Drive had a lot of scaling, and this is the same technique they use there.
That's amazing. That's I don't know if have you guys been playing it. So currently the Steam version's out, but people found a way to decrypt the encrypted ROM in there, and obviously I played it on the MiSTer and the Analog Pocket. Absolutely superb. I recommend it for everyone to buy on Steam, just to support games like this, project like yours, project like Earthian that's come out. But the scaling in that is superb. So is the scaling on that actually scaling, or will it be a technique like yours that's used, where you're literally drawing lots of different sprites at different heights to give that scaling effect?
Yeah, I mean that's what they did on that game as well. They will do all the frames in advance, and you can actually tell on Earthian, for example, that it's done that way because the scaling is just completely crisp. It's pixel perfect scaling, and like this, I tried to make it look like it was maybe like the Super Nintendo type scaling where the pixels actually grow in size.
Right. So, No, you guys have done a good job with that. And also, like, the characters in Nyanja, they kind of remind me a little bit of, a cross between, say, Legend of the Mystical Ninja and Samurai Pizza Cat. So what was the inspiration behind the characters?
It's funny you say that because both of those are big inspirations
Wow.
here. I actually drew the cat character back in 2004 originally, and I had uploaded it to DeviantArt and made a bunch of like mock-ups for said cat character, and then later on, I was like, you know what? Now's the time to put him in a game, and that's how they ended up like that. But I loved Pizza Cats back in the day, and a lot of the music, actually, a lot of the inspiration for the music for the composer came from
Wow.
Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
That is banging, man. That's such a great game. And I've tried playing some other Mystical Ninja games. There was one that got translated for PlayStation recently. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them are decent. Even the Game Boy one's alright, but nothing beats the Super Nintendo one for me, man. That one on the SNES was just,
Yep, same here.
yeah, magical.
Absolute
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, absolutely. It's just the way
Love
it
it.
went from side scrolling to that Zelda-y type of, I don't know what to call it, but
Yep, that
you know,
overworld map,
yeah,
and
it
then
was
you got your
so good.
side
And
stages. Yeah,
and
so
and pl-
good.
playing it.
Music is great.
Oh, everything. You know, that's when Konami had it, man. And that's why for so long I battled between the Super Nintendo and the PC Engine, because the Super Nintendo had Legend of Mystical Ninja, it had The Legend of Zelda, it had Contra 3, one of the best games ever, and Super Mario, the best platform game, you know, I've ever played, or definitely the best Mario platform game I've played. But with the PC Engine, man, it's got a heck of a lot more games that I actually really like playing.
Yeah, it really does. I had a Super Nintendo before I had the TurboGrafx CD, and I loved the Super Nintendo. I would always import Super Famicom games and play them. I broke off the little plastic tabs to play Japanese games, and I absolutely loved it. And I would play on both of them all the time. But I had fallen in love with the TurboGrafx CD and its ability to do the cutscenes, because I at that time I loved anime a lot, and so it was like the
Mm.
console that was really good with anime cutscenes, and so that
Okay.
was enough for me.
But you know what? Back then, there was an appreciation for it. So if we go back to like the 8-bit and the 16-bit, you know, when you saw those animated screenshots, whether it was a drawing, a still, or whether it was animated, it was like, wow. You know, do you remember the time where when you completed a game in the UK, people used to say, I clocked the game? It probably wasn't the correct term. But when you finished the game, let's say you played, I don't know, Mega Man 2 or you played Super Mario World, when you finished it, you said, when you bragged with your friend, you said, I clocked it, I saw the end screen, it was
Yep.
wicked. And then you describe what the end screen was. You know, even if you finished Tetris on like speed 5, I think 9.5, which was the hardest difficulty, you'd get like the rocket flying up and you'd get like all the musicians and you'd say, I clocked it and I saw it. And it was something of a marvel, you know, to say, have you completed it? And because there wasn't the internet and it wasn't YouTube, people couldn't cheat and watch it. If you wanted to see the end screen, you either had to complete the game or you had to be there when one of your buddies completed the game. So, you know, sometimes you could say, I've seen the ending for that, my buddy completed it, but no one ever saw it. So getting to the end and seeing that cutscene or seeing what the developers put in there, you know, and sometimes it'd be something that if you completed it with certain conditions, you'd get the better end screen. I remember in Street Fighter, if you finished it on one of the higher levels without losing a round, you'd get a special ending on the SNES where all of them were standing around.
Right.
There was a Capcom sign. So, you know, that kind of magic's gone now. The only way that comes back now is with games like the games that you guys are making.
Yeah, and we actually did that with FX Unit Yuki. Different difficulties show you different things. So, like, if you beat it on easy, you get a bad ending. If you beat it on normal, you get the normal ending. And if you beat it on hard, you unlock a secret character.
Yep, looks like I'm only ever getting the bad ending. Okay, so sorry, Tater, talk us through that, because you've been doing stuff on your screen, and naturally we've just taken over with the chat. So talk us through some of the stuff, how everything goes together, and what I really want is, or just advice to people that want to get into it, because some people might be doing like a coding job, they might be very, very IT competent, but then, you know, when you want to get into something new, that feeling of overwhelmingness overtakes you, you know, what can you tell them to say, you know what, it's not actually that bad, these are the steps you should take, and this is how you can get into it?
Well, for this, for the most part, if you can code in C, you know, the C coding language, then you can do this. It's a reduced version of C that's just commonly called small c, and it uses some of the older conventions for function calling, for example. Like, let me see if I can give an example here. Like, for example, right here, when I want to spawn an enemy, Normally when you look at C, you'll have something like int X and Y, nit, that isn't a thing. So like that, that's like normal C. But for this, you just give the parameters, and then you indicate on the next lines what kind of parameters you're passing, for example. But that's one of the differences between small c and quote unquote normal C. But anyways, that aside, so if like I was saying, if you can code C, you can code. You just have to perhaps unlearn a couple of details, and you can code an assembly language. I don't know many people who, but if you can code assembly language for the 6502, then you'd be right at home here. But for the most part, most people do code in C when they develop games for this system. And oops, I haven't made any changes. Go away. But there's a compiler called HughCC. Used to be HughC. That used to be the only real decent compiler for the system, and it hadn't been updated since 2005. And then someone picked it up, I think about like 6 or 7 years later, and made a fork of it. And it was a HughC 3.99, I think. It was the last one that was done by Zeograd, the original developer, who was also working with Dave Shadoff, actually, if I remember correctly. They were both working on this.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I think it was Dave Shadoff who made the original version. They had ported a 6502 small C compiler and updated it for the 6280, which is the CPU in the PC Engine. And that, like I said, that was stopped in 2005, and that was actually the version of to develop Yuki, which was kind of strange. It was 12 years old at that point by the time we put out Yuki, 12 or 13 years old. But something like that. So there was another coder who's been around for a while who goes by the name of Elmer, and he picked up the project as well. He made his own fork of HughC, which he calls HughCC, and I think he's still working with Dave Shadoff on some things, but I'm not sure the details of that. But Dave Shadoff is still around. He's still working on this kind of stuff too. So, as I think you mentioned at the top there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With that, sometimes, like I remember last time I was doing a PC Engine stream, I messaged him. I said, I'm doing a PC Engine stream. Anything you recommend that's a little bit different or whatever? And he kind of put me onto all these translations and stuff. And very, very, very knowledgeable when it comes to anything PC Engine or PCFX. So now, is there? So, are there any particular tools, or are those the best tools that you just mentioned in order to start development for PC Engine?
Yeah, HughCC is what you need, or HughC if you want to go the older route. That's what you'll need to actually build your project. That's the compiler, and I always recommend an old pixel editor called PaintShop Pro 7, which it's 20 something years at this point, but it's been the only. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Yeah, here it is. This is PaintShop Pro 7. It's the only pixel editor I've ever found which actually has this 4-bit color editing. I'm sure there's others, but this is the only one I've ever found. And this is probably the best pixel editor I've ever used for that kind of thing.
Okay.
And the compiler natively supports PCX files. I think they've also recently added support for pings as well, PNGs. I always call them pings because why not? and I think they added support for the tiled map editor. It's actually called tiled. Originally, HughC was, I think the only thing they really supported was Mappy. And that's what I've built the maps in this game in. I built them in Mappy.
Okay.
For example, here's mapping with one of the level maps for the game. So
Okay.
this works. It has its problems, it has its drawbacks. I've never used Tile to actually to build a game for the PC Engine because that's more of a new thing, but apparently that is an option now. So that's available to people if they want to go that route.
Okay.
So
And I actually like the level design. So you've nailed the levels with the platforms that you can press down and jump on to navigate down, which is quite so that feature of it wasn't in a lot of single screen platformers. The first game that I kind of noticed in was Snow Brothers 2, but I didn't play that for years later. But when I was in the arcade,
Yeah.
I don't remember any games having that. But I like the way you've done that. You've taken that approach from the way they are in like the Castlevania games, for example, where you can see the platform where you can press down and jump and move down a level. It's a little bit thinner, and the other ones are a bit fatter, so you get a good idea of it. And just looking at your pictures, I can see there the ones that where you can go down and the ones where you can't. And the other good thing about Nyanja is as well, it's not got a massive puzzle element, but it's got the element where sometimes there's an enemy and you don't quite know how to get to them, and naturally you kind of need to go to the top, navigate down a little bit and just kind of cross over and get to that enemy. And sometimes you might be in a situation where you need to kind of fly down and hit the enemy as you're down and use some other stuff in there. So that's very, very good design work on your part. That's one of the things I noticed when I played the demo.
yeah, that was one of the big things that we tried to go for was making not really so much puzzle heavy, but definitely strategy involved. And we tried very hard to go for a difficulty curve. Start out very basic and simple. It's actually in game theory. It's called IPM, which means introduce, practice, master, which basically describes a progression of how you handle level design and player interaction. You start out with a concept, you introduce it very simply, and then you allow the player to practice that over the course of whatever section you're doing, and by the end of it, they should have mastered it. If your level design is solid and cohesive, and so
Okay.
that's really what we're trying to go for here. If you look back at pretty much any Super Mario game, for example, those are textbook examples of the IPM theory in action. So if you ever notice, like, you start out a level, there might be a singular mechanic that you see, and you just kind of get the feel for that mechanic. By the end of the level, you're doing it left and right, you know. And if it's done properly, you don't even notice it. It's totally organic.
Right.
So that was the theme here, yeah.
Unless you're like me and you just go straight to the warp pipe and go to the end of the level, and the little cloud dude is chucking spiked turtle shells at you, and there is nothing there. You just die. But that's a special case. I just wanted to say that to be an idiot. Quality. Now, when it comes to porting stuff over, so obviously you bring this game out, you code it, you make it ground up for the PC Engine CD. Now, bringing it over to different platforms, Dreamcast, Mega Drive, and then on modern consoles like, say, the Switch, the PlayStation, naturally the PC, Steam. How easy is it to port it over instead of developing it from the ground up? And as well as that, like, so if we go with the platforms, you've got the PC Engine version now, what platform is the easiest and what one is the most difficult? So, is PC the easiest, Dreamcast the most difficult? How does it work for you in how you do this stuff?
So Tater is only going to be doing the PC version of it, so he can go into that.
Yeah, I guess we're going to be outsourcing the PC version to other consoles because it's a different paradigm. For example, on the PC Engine, what I do, since it is a CD game and everything is based on program overlays, which each one is basically its own self-contained program. That's different on like the PC. So it's kind of hard for me to describe because I'm not so good with words. But anyways, so let me show. Like here, Like I have area 1, area 2, area example, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Each one of these stages is its own program. On the PC, I don't have to do that. It's one program, So I just have to go from this multi-program setup to just one program. And I do that by creating scenes, so to speak. And that is more cohesive with other systems. Like on the Genesis, you wouldn't want fragmented. You just want to have one program. So that's what I do when I make the PC version. I just put it as one program. So it's easier for any porters to port that code over. Now, one of the big things that does have to change is things like graphics calls, because obviously it's not going to be the same because everyone has their own method. For me, I have my own proprietary game engine on the PC, which is designed specifically so I can make porting from the PC engine to the PC as painless as possible.
Okay.
So it has the same kind of like graphics or like sprite stack and all that kind of thing. So
once
over the years, it's become easier and easier.
So for example, it comes out for the PC engine. You port it on the PC using your own tool, and then from there you outsource it for everyone that brings it to, say, the Mega Drive and the Dreamcast. Have I understood that correctly?
Correct.
That's the theory, yeah.
Ah, okay. No, that's and it's easier to port. So once you make the PC version of it, say that's ready to go on Steam or whatever, but the PC version is what everyone works on. So say you get the Mega Drive, the PC Engine one done. Someone says, hey, you know what, guys, I want to bring this out for the Super Nintendo. You're like, no problem. Here's the PC version. You can port it over, knock yourself out.
So that would actually be a little different. So if they're going to be porting it to like the Mega Drive, they would have to go off of the PC Engine. Well, it would probably be easier for them to go off of the PC Engine code and assets over the PC, only because some colors might be different. But for other consoles, so like say like the Sega Dreamcast, you would absolutely have to use the PC port to make a Sega Dreamcast port. So it really also just depends on which version of the game is being ported to what console.
That's okay. So, for example, now what about like the modern ones? Now, if you want to bring stuff out for the Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, I take it the PC will work better with that as well. Would that be the correct assumption?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Cool. Now that's really, really interesting. But and porting is obviously definitely easier than making it from the ground up, right? Or is there ever a situation where you do a port and you think, oh my god, this is so darn difficult, I would have been better off just starting a game from scratch?
Well, I think with Mega Drive, we've never had to work on any of our own ports. We contracted people, like for FX Unit Yuki, we contracted Pixel Heart, and they had hired someone from Spain, I believe, to do the port for it. But the big headache for people porting it to the Mega Drive is the color palette, for one, because the Genesis has a much reduced number of colors on screen versus the PC Engine. So a lot of sprites have to be reworked now because of this limitation. Music is another thing, because since our games are CD based games, all of our audio is CDDA audio, Redbook audio. So now that audio has to be converted in a tracker, right? Like someone has to go into a tracker and recompose the track from scratch in this tracker for the Mega Drive. So
okay.
Yeah, I think the Mega Drive is probably the biggest challenge to port to, based on the fact that we make games for a CD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can code for the Mega Drive, and even I that.
Mega Drive's getting a lot of love though, man. Urtian for the Mega Drive is it's a very, very popular console, you know. So there's what else is coming out for it? Is it Soviet Borgs? Was that a Mega Drive game as well? I can't remember.
Yep.
Now. I know that is Mega Drive, right? Yeah. So Yeah, it's definitely getting its fair share of love, and it's really nice to see. We've got, when it comes to like the retro consoles, there's been like a Spectrum, a ZX Spectrum, a Commodore 64 recently. Then obviously we're getting stuff like the Analog 3D as well. It's a good time to be alive for retro gaming. I almost feel like we're getting a second whiff of like that golden age with the new games coming out, the new tech coming out. That's just doing all this. That's doing all our old gaming.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cool.
I feel like retro's got such a strong resurgence going on right now.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about this whole thing is like I can code for a lot of different platforms. If I was to make a Mega Drive game, I would, original, that would not be a problem. Doing a port from the PC Engine to the Mega Drive, no thanks. that's just more headache than I'd want to take on. But if it was something
So you're kind of cutting out the Tater. Your volume's cutting out there for some reason a bit.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now. Sometimes right at the crucial part, cool. The best word out there just kind of goes. It disappears for a sec.
Well, I was going to say that we were actually discussing this morning that we might want to entertain the idea of Master System game.
Oh wow! So there's a really good Master System game. Yeah, there's one in the works. You've obviously seen it. There's Frontier Force. Sorry, I'll let you continue. And the next one that I'm looking at now is one called Razing Core. Absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of interest as of late for getting a lot of even older consoles going. Like one of the guys that we worked with, Justin Cheer, has been doing work on the Intellivision. And I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of these old consoles are getting, a lot of modern love, which is so awesome to see.
Yeah, I've never really played the Intellivision, man. It's not one I'm too familiar with, to be honest. That's really, really old, isn't it? It's like we're talking like 8-bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even Atari 2600 is getting new games for it.
Yep. Yeah.
So
actually, Atari themselves, they put out their 2600 plus console.
They've got a watch as well. They've put a watch out recently, like with a 26, with 4 2600 games on there.
And another interesting thing with Atari is that I'm actually a licensed developer on the Atari VCS, and I also recently became a licensed developer for Xbox.
Oh wow!
So I'm able to bring games to both of those platforms now.
So what does a licensed developer mean? Does that mean you have a development kit and you can develop for them?
Yes. In fact, in the case of the VCS, I actually have a development unit.
Oh wow!
Which I didn't have to pay a dime for.
Very nice.
Which was really nice. The business development guy, who's a really cool guy, he set me up with that, and even did a custom light overlay for the Atari logo. That shows on the front. So it's pink because of course it's pink because Tater. But anyways.
So are you what are you working on games for the VCS? So what is the VCS? Because I know the Atari 2600. What is the VCS? I can't seem to kind of recall what that is.
The VCS is basically a micro PC that it runs its own operating system and everything. It's basically a retooled IM Linux. So if you can make a game run on Linux, then you can make a game for the most part run on the VCS.
Okay.
And I know some people don't think it's really worth the money, but I think it is. And I honestly wish more developers would take it seriously because it is a really, really nice console to develop for. It's got its problems, but all consoles have their problems and little quirks and whatnot.
So is the VCS something
a really nice one?
It's something you can buy now, right? Is it something you can buy now? Okay, cool.
Yes, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's actually been out for quite a few years now.
Okay. And
it has a very dedicated fan base too.
Oh yeah, very dedicated.
Oh, that's good to know. So what kind of, are we talking like games around the 2600 caliber? We're talking 800 ST. What kind of games can it do?
we're talking modern games.
Oh wow, okay.
And there's actually been quite a few nice high quality modern 3D games released for it. So,
Okay.
and I've actually tested a couple of my own modern 3D games for it, and it worked flawlessly.
Wow.
Yep.
So
Tater even
it has
published.
yeah, I published a game on the VCS before
Yep.
from a guy that actually works with us now, named
Yeah.
Sketchy Ceviche.
Wow.
So he's actually working on a game for SaruPro as well.
That's
Right.
that's
And
freak.
then
Gone.
and Tater's gonna port all of this stuff to the VCS. Same thing with Nyanja. He's already got a version of FX Unit Yuki going for the VCS, which will get published maybe at the beginning of next year if time permits. But yeah, Tater's got a bunch of stuff coming out for the VCS. So if you're a VCS owner, you'll be able to find all of our games there.
That's really really cool. Now are the games going to be physical releases or are they digital for the VCS?
The VCS is a digital only platform.
Right.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have media or anything like that.
Let me
But
bring it up. I'm gonna look it up actually. Atari VCS, yeah. I don't really know. Maybe it come across it and I was like, oh, this isn't for me because here we go. Atari VCS first link when I've searched for it. Okay, let me share the Chrome page here now. Okay, here we go. An icon reimagined. Right, okay. I'm looking at the games on there. That's not you on screen, is it, Tater or Saru? Demonstrating how you can play. No.
yeah, probably not.
No. Okay. Just checking. Okay. Okay.
Share this.
Atari IO. Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. So you can even have like YouTube and Twitch and stuff on there.
Yep.
Okay. Very interesting. You know what? See this arcade stick? This is nostalgia for me, man. I mean, it looks a little bit more modern and everything there. See, this is where I started playing. Like my earliest gaming memories was like on the Atari 2600. Now, what happened was I played on an arcade stick with my right hand. And when I started getting arcades, I had to start playing with my left hand. So I almost had to relearn everything that I knew by how playing on an arcade stick and move it over to my other hand. Actually, that's not a bad price. This wireless joystick, can I use that with different systems as well? Or is it only with the VCS? Because that's not a bad price, $21.39.
I've never tried
think
to
it
actually
works with
use it like on the
PC.
PC. But
I
I've
wanna
never
say.
tried it, but I'm sure it works. Oh, the one thing that's interesting about that joystick, the classic joystick, is it also functions as a paddle control. The stick itself is, it rotates like the paddle controller
no
of
way.
the original 2600. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, because do you know what? There's a few arcade games that I like. Like one of them is Guerrilla War. Outzone is another one. And those ones in the arcade, they had like a rotary arcade stick. But the only thing is you need more than one button. Like, for example, there was a fire button and a grenade button.
And a bomb, yeah.
Yeah, so having the one button, even though that would be great, I can move and rotate with the same thing. The lack of an additional button, to be honest, I'd probably want. I think there's a stick. It's called Thunder something. They did one. I never bought it because I've got way too many sticks and not enough room. But that one there had that rotary stick on there. That looked like it would have been perfect to play like Guerrilla War or Akari Warriors or Outzone on. But yeah, Midnight Resistance is another one. You need that rotary stick with them.
Yeah.
Without a rotary stick, they feel crap. I can't play them without that. I've tried, I just can't do it. I even bought is it a Joy-Con, the PlayStation controller with the dial on there, but it just doesn't feel right trying to play it with that. I need a rotary arcade stick. I will grab one at some point. Not in a major hurry for it, but this is really cool. I mean, it's not something. I don't think this is something for me. I don't think I'll get it, but I can see why people really, really like this. It's almost like a modern Atari console with some modern games that kind of resemble that old school vibe.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like it so much. It's just because it is. I don't want to say nostalgia bait, but that's basically what it is.
No, that's darn good, man. Absolutely superb there, man. Absolutely superb with how it's gone. What was I going to say? Right, guys, is there anything else you want to say? Any games you want to look at on the PC Engine, or anything you want to kind of go through or kind of mention? Because it's definitely been enlightening so far. But anything else you guys want to share? Whatever games, or if you want to bring up a game on your screen, or anything else.
I got nothing. You got
Well,
anything, Saru?
yeah, I just wanted to let people know that if you do want to check out our game, the demo is available. It's free. You can download it on our itch.io page. Once again, that's just sarupro.itch.io. If you guys want to check out the demo of Nyanja and play it for yourselves, and maybe check out the demo for FX Unit Yuki as well.
Let me post it in chat. I know if someone else posts links, it will block it. If I just do Nyanja, what is it? Shall I do Kickstarter or itch.io page?
If you want to do sarupro.itch.io.
Sorry, okay.
Take...
What is it? SARU, yeah? And then pro.
And then pro.
Pro.itch.io, yeah?
Yep, .itch.io.
.itch.
And that'll take them.
Okay. Oh, yep, I've got it here. Right. Let me copy that into chat. And let's do that. So guys, I'm going to copy this into that. Check it out. The demo that I played at the beginning. In fact, let me just bring that on screen now so people can have a look at that. Excellent. So that's the demo on there. So let's kind of, oops. Here we go. Demos. I've only got one. So guys, this game here, absolutely love this. I should try this on the Unlock Pocket as well, actually, because the Unlock Pocket has a good PC Engine CD core as well. It still needs a bit of work. I know the developer behind the Mazamars that ported it over is really busy with life and stuff in general. So hopefully one day.
Yeah, I actually got a weird error with some games on the PC Engine. Our games also have that error. Something about the file sizes being too large.
Yeah, so what you need to do is because you need it in .bin and Q. It doesn't support CHD, and there was a limit to how many files you could have. So if you had too many bin files, it wasn't working. But what people were doing was they were using a program that would convert, like, let's say the max limit was 21 and you had like 50. It would convert the 50 into one big file. But what that would do was that would kind of put the sound out of sync. I remember playing out Rainbow Islands in there, and like the CD sound was just all different places and whatnot. So hopefully that will come. I mean, it's a great achievement on the Analog Pocket because it kind of demonstrates that it can do CD consoles, and obviously it gives people the hope that maybe they can get a mega CD core on there one day. But yeah, absolutely superb. And also, guys, myself and a buddy of mine, Anime Otaku, we've launched a website recently. So definitely stay in touch. Anytime you've got an update, we're happy to publish articles on there to keep everyone updated. Naturally on the YouTube channel as well. But yes, it's been superb, guys. So yeah, man, support, guys. Just saying it here. Support indie development. If you like the PC Engine, you love the PC Engine CD, and you want games like this because people put a lot of work into this, and when people buy this stuff, it gives people more incentive to do it because you're getting the fruits of your labor. Most recently, I bought Urtian, and that's what I'm talking about a lot. But Nyanja is there if you've got original hardware, and just you sell the ROM as well, right? For people that want to play it on, say, the Mister, or they don't have the device but they want to support you and get the game. You guys sell the ROM, right? Is that correct?
Correct. There will be a digital package available at the end of the year as well. If people want to get the ISO and play it on their Mister, they can.
Perfect. See, that's really good. And guys, that's how you can support the stuff, because hey, we're all old men, right? When I say old, we're at least in our 30s, right? If anyone in their 20s is in there, then I salute you, man. You've just matured way before your age, right? Like, I'm 47 myself. I'm 48 soon.
Same.
Like,
yep.
You're growing old where you start getting grey hair on all the parts of your body, which I can't name because we're a family-friendly channel, but I found them there the other day, and I was like, not only is it wrinkled, but it's also grey. But
hey, we're getting old.
Right, so guys, look, thank you very much. Stay on the line because we'll talk for a couple of minutes after, but thank you so much for enlightening us, letting us know about your development thing. Really do appreciate your time. Really do appreciate everything you do for the community.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, dude, it was freaking awesome, man. Seriously, so darn good. And a big shout out to David Shadoff, because even without knowing it, he's the one that kind of linked us all up, because he retweeted this, I found it, and then I looked into the project, and we all just started talking. So yeah, wicked. Goodbye, guys. And guys, you want any final closing thoughts to the audiences?
Play more PC Engine. It doesn't get enough love. Everyone's always talking about Sega, Nintendo. Start talking about PC Engine, you guys. PC Engine history is super important to gaming. I highly recommend you guys research more about it. It's a totally different narrative in Japan than we got here in the West as far as history goes. And NEC played a huge part. So please go out there, play more PC Engine, spread the word.
Okay, and Mr. Tater, closing thoughts.
Not much, except if you find an indie that you like, definitely support them. There's a lot of people out there just doing what they love. Show them some love. That's all I can say is people work hard, and I think they deserve the exposure.
Super duper.
That goes for all of them.
Perfect. All right. Well, good luck, guys. Thank you for watching. And Spitfire RAF, thank you. Good evening. This guy turns up at every stream. Better late than ever, and you caught it. Anyway, guys, this is the guys from Nyanja, SaruMaru, Tater Pants, and Pixel Cherry Ninja